Now, before I tell you about this wonderful comic, let's take a word from our sponsors.
The Power Rangers are fighting for their lives.
It's time to destroy the Rangers.
Astronema's back, and this time the evil queen is testing the Rangers to the max.
Let's go.
Every weapon in their vast arsenal will be needed. Catch the adventures of the Power Rangers in space tomorrow afternoon, only on Fox Kids.
Now, before I jump into this right here, the Power Ranger Psychopath book, I'm going to give you some backstory information on their Sentai counterparts, the Naji Rangers. Naji Rangers began life as a strengthening suits devised by two INET scientists for the protection of Earth, Dr. Sajama and Professor Kabuta. After the death of Sajima, why did I say Sajima? Sajima's daughter, in an initial attempt by the duo to harness the energy. However, the suit that came of it was dark and twisted, and a reflection of Sajima's complete change in his feelings for the work at INET. After his daughter's death, ultimately when Sajima defected to join Jarvis, he takes these suits with him. The initial suits that have primarily designed to become used and create his own squadron to battle the Mega Rangers, which Kabuto was forced to start over and develop his own after Sajima's defection, and this was in episode 38 of Mega Ranger, and well, we all know what happens, basically they die. they basically die, as they do in the Power Rangers version of the Psycho Rangers. They die, but they do come back. Would you like to know how they died? Well, basically, they all got super murdered by the Megazords. Or Mecha, if you want to call them Mecha. They all got super murdered. But they did come back and then got super murdered again. Yep, pretty much. The Psycho Rangers debuted in Power Rangers in Space with the lines, well, let me just let them tell you.
The Psycho Rangers. We're faster than you, smarter than you,
Stronger than you. But we're evil.
And that was pretty much it. The Psycho Rangers stuck in the minds of Ranger fans for a very long time because they're a threat. And that's it. The Psycho Rangers didn't have character. They were one-dimensional, mindless killing machines. They were the Rangers, but, well, evil. Until now. Taking place after Lost Galaxy, the story follows Karone and Andros' attempts to stop the Psycho Rangers once and for all. But wait, you're probably wondering, weren't the Psycho Rangers destroyed about 40 other times? Nope, they're back, and done with simply being told to destruction. And who better to bear the brunt of that than the one who created them? Which doesn't necessarily make sense, because I'm not sure if that was exactly established in Space. I have to go back and watch In Space. But I'm not sure exactly if that was established, that Astronema was the one who created the Psycho Rangers, especially after some stuff that happens in the end of the book. But no spoilers. Formerly Astronema, Karone feels personal responsibility to take care of the Psychos. Andros is ready to destroy them at all costs, which I don't blame him after the events of In Space. I totally don't blame him. I'd murder them in a heartbeat. Super murder. But then Karone learns about the Psychos, the more she wants them to take a different path, which, doesn't necessarily work out in some cases. The way this graphic novel weaves together the stories of Karone and the Psycho Rangers is nothing short of brilliant. It makes incredibly bold choices that cast a whole new light on Karone, especially, which may take some fans aback at first, but more you read the story and how the Psycho play a part in it, the more it makes sense. It also makes the Psycho Rangers' greatest negative weakness their lack of character and makes it into their biggest strength. They force Karone to implement the most self-destructive attempt to make up for her past wrongdoings yet, which she was Astronema. She did kind of beat the Power Rangers and almost take over the world. So, The comic is slow to start and may be a bit confusing on why especially the Psycho Rangers have returned, and they're going on with Karone. It seems more clear soon enough. The Psychopath is a fitting sequel not only to the TV series, but the various comic appearances of Karone and the Psychos as well. Everything is taken into account, from Psycho Green's first appearance, his backstory, and the trial of Astronema. It's a fantastic entry in the saga of Power Rangers in Space and the Power Rangers Boom comics. If you're a Power Rangers fan, you totally need to pick this book up. Just not because it's a damn good story, but it's also because the story isn't focused on MMPR. Look, I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers focused Boom comics. They're amazing. The best stories in the franchise has ever done. But let's not lie. It's a breath of fresh air to see the in-space team take center stage. The Psychopath proves there is a wealth of untapped potential for the Boom to mine and non-Power Ranger seasons. They can continue the MMPR comics, of course, but I would love to see more original graphic novels like the ones focusing on other teams and characters. The universe of Power Rangers is rich. Just let me see most of it. Just let me do it. Alright guys, that is a wrap for this episode of Comical Comments. I wasn't going to turn this into a Comical Comments episode because I didn't want to. There's no spoilers in this particular episode. It's just so good of a book, I don't want to spoil it. And I feel like if I spoil it, most people wouldn't read the book. And you kind of got to read this. It's very good. It's very, very good. Put down your Cheetos and your Fortnite and pick up Power Rangers the Psychopath. It's great. Catch you guys.